Hello. Welcome back to the channel. It's Alyssa. People seem to like when you talk about books they don't like. So let's talk about all the books I DNF'd in 2022. I feel very special holding the mic. I don't know why. I tried to be a little bit more ruthless this year in my DNFing, so I actually have quite a few. I think I have like 6 or 7 books that I DNF'd this year, and we're going to talk about them and sort of why I DNF'd them. And I don't own most of these, so I'm not going to be holding up anything. I'll put pictures up as we get to them. I'm not going to do a separate video on the books that I like because there's an entire playlist of my 31 favorites that you can go to. Those are all the books that I've enjoyed that were notable for the year. I don't do a top 10. I'm not going to dance like Katie books, even though I think more people should do that because I think that's hilarious. Let's talk about, though, the books that I really disliked this year. So much that I didn't finish reading them. So first off, I'm just going to go right off the top of this list. I have a random ass list down here in my new social media bibble because this girl is getting organized for 2023. Flash forward to the end of 2023 when I have totally abandoned this and I am just as chaotic as ever. Anywho, so my first one is going to be A Peculiar Peril. I made it a little ways into this book before I decided that I was just going to DNF it because I don't know what the hell is happening. It is beautiful, it is gorgeous. It gave me Glasstown Games sort of vibes, but I just didn't vibe with it. I could not understand what was happening. We kept switching back and forth between like a more current England and our character there and some weird parallel universe with a Napoleon that wasn't a Napoleon that maybe wasn't even a real thing. I don't know who everybody was. I was very confused. There's a lot of characters. They're not all human. Some of them are vegetables. And I just didn't know what was happening. And I just don't think that this is the way that I read Jeff Vandermeer. I think that there's another entry point for me into Vandermeer, and it is not A Peculiar Peril. And if anybody has read this and understood this and would like to explain it to me, please let me know. Please let me know. Because I didn't get it at all. Another book that I DNF'd this year, I DNF'd this after like 20 pages because I don't understand why more people didn't find this offensive. Maybe I was reading into it and that's why nobody found it offensive, but I just could not read. An Easy Death by Charlene Harris. I think I said her name right. I might not have. I don't care. So this is about some sort of alternate America, sort of Dust Bowl-y time period. Something about Mexicans. I think there's zombies, Rasputins involved in this. It is a clusterfuck of a plot, which is what got me to try to read it. But then our main character is in like the first 20 pages, you find out that our main character was groomed by an adult man. And then I think she marries him when she turns like 18. Weird. 2, there's a lot of like weirdly racial things going on. I don't know. It felt like it wasn't, at moments, it didn't feel like outwardly racist, but it felt really like we are towing a line and it made me really uncomfortable. And then, and then our main character says something to this group of people. Don't shoot the Indians unless they shoot you first. And that's when I stopped listening because I wasn't into it. I was very scared of what was coming. If those were, that all of that had happened in the first like 20 pages, I was very scared. I was very scared about the rest of the book. And I can't. If anybody has read this series and would like to pitch me a reason to get back into it and tell me why it's great, please do, because it seems that people really like it. There's several books. It just started off with, what's the opposite of a bang? Whatever that is. It started off with a flop, with a secondhand embarrassment, with a no you didn't. I don't know. I couldn't read it. I couldn't. I also DNF'd Lady Joker, and this very much disappointed me. So this is a classic Japanese crime novel, and I got so bored. And it's based off of true crime, and it's 2 volumes of hundreds of pages. It's like a 1,000-page crime novel, and I have the first volume of it, and I got so bored. I thought there were supposed to be dead people, but like, I don't know. It did not hook. I have not unhauled the book because I feel like I need to give it the time it deserves. But right now, right now, in the year of our Lord 2022. It is not that time. And again, if you have read Lady Joker, please let me know if it gets more engaging as you go along and if I should just suffer through the first couple hundred pages because I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand. It was not engaging. I also DNF'd the Cathedral by Ben Hopkins. This is another chunky book. This is a book that I had on my list for a really long time. I was kind of trying to see if I would like it. I don't know why I thought I would like it because it's a little bit more like Pillars of the Earth, and I wasn't really into Pillars of the Earth either. I don't really care about these like monks building a goddamn cathedral. I tried to get into it, and it was just not for me. And it's so chunky that there's no reason for me to spend my life reading that book when I don't care about the goddamn monks. I don't care about monks building cathedrals. I don't know why. Every few years, I pick up a book about monks building cathedrals, and I think, you know what? This is going to be the year I care. I don't care. I don't care about them. I don't care how spicy the monks are. I don't care how much everybody else likes it. I don't care. I just don't care. So please remind me that if you see a book that is about monks building a cathedral on any of my TBRs at any point, someone please get in the comments and tell me, Alyssa, what are you doing? You don't like books about monks and cathedrals. Stop it. Another one that I DNF'd, but I'm not going to get rid of because I do want to read it. I just never got the time to focus on it, and then it somehow kept getting like kicked to the side, and I don't know why. I didn't get very far into it. It's just I kept getting distracted by all these other books. So in 2023, I'd like to read it. So is it a DNF? It's a DNF for now. It still counts, and that is The Ballad of Perilous Graves. This is sort of urban fantasy set in New Orleans. It's supposed to be very musical. It's supposed to be very good. And I just, for whatever reason, I kept getting more invested in all the other books that I was reading. And I had only gotten maybe a chapter or two into it before I sort of just like put it down and then somehow forgot about it. And I kept forgetting about it every month for months. So I need to stop that because I know that I'm going to like this book. I just need to actually sit down and read it. I just know I'm going to like this book. For some reason, I know I'm going to like it, but for some other reason, I just don't read it. Help me. I also DNF'd for now A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Little Badger. I did that in a recent reading vlog because I was just having a really hard time focusing on it. And I did like Alatsue, and I do like their writing. It is a little juvenile for me most of the time, but I do think that it has a lot of merit. I just need to be in a different headspace where I can actually focus on it and really care about it. So it didn't feel fair to read it while I wasn't. It didn't feel fair to read it on the heels of Glory when I was like, I cannot do books about animals that talk because Glory just destroyed me in that department. So it was not the time. It was not the place. In 2023, I want to give it a go because I believe did it win a Newbery Award? It won something recently. It's been getting a lot of accolades. I have a lot of curiosity around the book, and I really like the way that Darcy Little Badger sticks very closely to indigenous narratives, and the writing's really nice. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair for me to read it at the time that I was attempting to read it, so we let it go, and we will come back to it in 2023. And then the number one book that I DNF'd, if you can have a number one book that you DNF'd, if you have a number one book, a book that you are so mad that you even put the time into, that you did before you said, screw this, I'm not reading it, then this would be the book. And that book is, I'm going to give you a second to try to guess, because if you've been following along on the podcast and on this channel, you should know what book I read this year that I absolutely loathed. You ready? You ready for the book? The Book of Jacob! I don't know why I shouted that. I just blew out your ear holes. I could not get behind this book. There were flashes in the beginning. I remember doing a reading vlog and being like, I actually really like this. I think Olga T is going to be like a must-buy author for me. And then I kept reading. And then I kept not caring. And then I just kept not caring and not caring and not caring and not caring and not caring. And then I got boring. And then I was like 200, 300 pages. I was far into this book before I just said, no. I only get one lifetime, and I am not spending it hating my life this much. So I stopped. Now I know that there are lots of people on this platform and in the literary sphere who loved the Book of Jacob. I know there are people that think it's a masterpiece. And to you, I say, how? I was asleep. It was terrible. And this is going to hurt some people out there, but I went and I bought myself a very expensive Fitz copy of it. This big blue beautiful cover. I'm going to put that big blue beautiful cover on here. I bought myself a beautiful copy of this book and I unhauled it because I don't want to see it. That's how much I disliked reading this book. And I'm sure that's going to piss somebody off, but I don't care. I just don't care. Suck it. So those are the books that I DNF'd this year. I think that's everything, which is actually a lot. I know 7 doesn't sound like a lot, but for somebody who usually never DNFs a book, in 2021, I think I DNF'd like 2 books. In 2022, I'm not wasting time. In 2023, forget it. I hate you. You're done. It's over. It's over. This list is going to be like 10 times longer, I think, in 2023. I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm getting old. I'm almost 40. I don't have time for books that don't bring me joy. And I don't need joy like you have to make me happy, but you have to make me enjoy the entire experience. I only want to read books that are good. I will start books that are bad, but I am not finishing shitty books anymore. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'd love to know what books you guys didn't finish or didn't like or just absolutely hated. I would love to hear your hot takes on things that I said that you don't agree with. And otherwise, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. Bye.
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think